work for me. Just be patient. I'm not in my truck. See if anybody shows up here. So I gotta figure out how to get this stuff situated in this truck. Well, people come in, I'll open this up on my other phone so I can read comments. And yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? It's been kind of a crazy week for me, to be honest. If you don't know, I think it was Tuesday morning, maybe it was Wednesday morning, my truck quit running due to poor DEF quality. It wouldn't go above 5 miles an hour. So it's still sitting in Virginia right now. Evening, Sterling. It's currently still sitting in Virginia. I'm renting a truck from DIY Semi right now. Actually, Big Orange, his pride and joy. He's letting me drive this thing around the country. It's an older truck, but you know what? It's actually really nice. I enjoy driving it. But yeah, no, it's been pretty crazy not knowing what's going on with my truck. It still hasn't even been diagnosed yet. They made me aware of the long wait when I called them and got the record that told me there. Evening, Cash. How you doing, man? Can everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or drop something that you can hear me in the comments. So yeah, I'm currently in an undisclosed location in Ohio, on my way back to Wisconsin, and then figure out what to do from there. I know what I'm already doing. We had another truck breakdown today, so I'm taking that guy's load. I'm meeting a truck tomorrow in Illinois, picking up that loaded trailer and going down to Washington Courthouse, Ohio for a tomorrow night delivery. And then I'll probably head back home, maybe take some time off. I think I might make a big move. I'm kind of scared, kind of intrigued. I found another truck, and I'm thinking about purchasing it and hiring a driver for it. I think I want to do that. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but you know, I came across this truck. I pulled over today to take my half-hour break, and I found a truck online that happens to be in Minnesota, and the price point on this truck is perfect to where I can afford it. And if I can't find a driver for it right away, it's not going to hurt that it sits, and I honestly could turn around and make a good profit on it if I just wanted to flip the truck. But let me say hi to a couple of people here real quick. Lil Al, what's going on? You're behind the scale house. I'm home right. Oh, you're at home. Cool. How long you there for, Cash? Gonna take a week off? Rates are hot right now. What are you doing? Why are you sitting at home? But yeah, no, it's been kind of a crazy whirlwind of a week. You know, my truck, what's ever wrong with my truck is wrong with my truck. I'm not stressing out about it. I got a feeling it's going to be something pretty minor. The downside is just the wait time on this stuff, you know. Hopefully you all have a shop that you can get into right away. I just had to take what was available to me. You know, I took a shop that was 50 miles away from where I broke down. It was the nearest Mack Volvo dealership in that area. But when I called them and told them I was on a hook coming to them, they forewarned me. They're like, man, we're booked. We'll be lucky to get to your truck early next week. So, you know, maybe they'll get to it tomorrow. I'm going to call them if I don't hear from them tomorrow and figure out kind of the game plan, what's going on, when is it going to be able to get in there. And until now, I'll keep renting DIY Semi's truck. It's doing the job. I'm still making money. I can't complain. I actually have his sweatshirt on again tonight too. I didn't grab everything out of my truck, you know. It was kind of a fiasco, you know what I mean? I broke down in the middle of the morning. I had no sleep. found out that I have to go to a hotel, so I kind of just grabbed like my bare necessities to get me through the next couple of days. So I didn't grab a bunch of warm clothes. I grabbed some pants, underwear, socks, a couple of t-shirts. I have one other sweatshirt. So not only am I driving DIY Semi's truck, I'm also wearing his clothes now. You know. Let me get a couple of these. Hello, Fade. Oh, and all good. Oh, yeah, doing good. Vic Med, what's up, bro? I've had one truck that has been down for a week. The CPC4 is out. I can't find that part anywhere. Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of scared about. We've all heard about these shortages on parts and sensors and stuff like that. And I'm really hoping it is a knock sensor, because I think that's an easy fix. However, I hope that they have the part. Otherwise, who knows how long my truck's going to be there. I mean, I've heard horror stories of guys having their trucks at the shop for 6 months. I really don't want that to like be my case, but you know, it's cost of doing business, I guess. You know, I've found ways to make it work. You know, and like I said, I found this other truck that I might pull the trigger on and just purchase it, and you know, so who knows? I don't know. I'm interested. You know, Vic Med. I know that. Well, you're more of a. Do you have employees? Actual like W-2 employees? I'm like I said, I'm thinking about that. I think one truck, one employee, and then me. So 2 trucks, 2 employees essentially, because I'm an employee. I think I want to take the risk. To be honest with you, I took a gamble on myself when I became an owner-operator, and I believe I've put in the work. I've followed the teachings from people that I consider my mentors, and it's put me in a good position. You know, I would like, it sounds ridiculous, I would like the challenge of you know, managing somebody. We'll see. I haven't even ran this by the wife yet, so this could just get all blown out of the water the minute I talk to her. So yeah, say hi to a couple of these people. I'll be on the replay, gang. Be safe out there, drivers. Yeah, take it easy, Sterling. Nomadic Brit, what's up? Cattle Hound, my buddy tried to get his oil changed yesterday at Speedco in South Carolina, but no filters in stock for Cummins, and has been out for over a month, and yet he went across the street to TA and they had them. Wow, that's weird. You know, maybe they just bought a bunch. You know, I know DIY, cash is king. A lot of people told me to like buy extra fuel filters, buy extra oil filters. So I did. I have a case of fuel filters, water separators, oil filters. You know, matter of fact, when I had my boost sensor replaced, the dealership, it wasn't a dealership, it was a service place. They didn't have a water separator for my truck, and the guy's like, oh, you should replace that. Well, I had one in my bunk, so they just replaced it for me when they fixed the boost sensor. So yeah, Vic Med, cool, dude. Hey, Vic Med, thanks for commenting on this, because you're somebody that I follow, whether you know it or not. I listen to a lot of things you say too. Take the risk, bro. We all had to take the risk before we got to where we are. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, I happen to be leased on to a small carrier. We all know it's DIY, and he took a gamble. You know, and you know what? I see the success he's having with the struggles that come with, you know, having people like me driving down the road in your truck. But I want to do it. I want the risk. I want the reward too. And I'm not talking about like all money. I mean, I'm basing this on very conservative numbers, to where if my numbers are correct, it's not like it's going to profit me a whole ton of money, you know, but it's something. It's somewhere to start. It's like planting roots, you know what I mean? Building something from the ground up. That's always been my goal. I've always had that ambition and drive to like be my own boss, do things for myself, and grow. and try and teach along the way, if that makes sense. I don't think anybody should view me as like, you know, a teacher or anything, or a mentor or anything like that. But over the course of time, you know, I have a lot of experience in this industry. You all know I say it all the time. I have over 20 years experience in this industry. I've seen a lot. I've seen crashes. I worked for a construction supply company when the housing market went out and crashed. I was a part of that. I've seen really high highs and really low lows in this industry. And yet I've always been able to have a job. Like, that's how I look at this industry. Yeah, there's high points and low points, but look how many drivers are out on the road. So there's always, you know, a job or money to be made, no matter what market you're in. As long as you're, maybe I'm talking on my butt here, but as long as you're good and you understand not every cent is yours, I think you can position yourself to be pretty successful. That's my thought, at least. I could be wrong. But yeah, so now here we wait. We wait to see what's going on with my truck. Currently driving Big Orange. If you guys watch any of DIY's videos, you know what truck I'm in. And I'll tell you what, it's I've been spoiled, meaning my truck is an automatic. It's a integrated manual transmission, but it's an automatic. I push D to drive. Well, I'm back in a manual transmission, and you know what? I forgot how much I enjoy like shifting gears. It gives you something to do. Like, I don't know. I miss it, to be honest with you. And I keep trying to offer DIY a certain dollar amount for this truck, and you won't bite. I keep throwing it out there. You know, I'm good at fishing, so I figure if I keep throwing the line, he'll finally see the bait and he'll take the hook. But so far, it hasn't worked out for me. Vic Med, think about it. You don't have to dispatch the driver. So, dude, that's a great point. Sorry to not read your whole thing right now. I wouldn't be dispatching the driver. Now, here's the thing. DIY would be dispatching the driver. However, like if there was issues with something, I want me to be the first call. I don't want it. I mean, it's my employee. You know, I want to take care of what I can take care of. And like I said, I've managed drivers before. I've been a dispatcher. I've handled problems as an owner operator that I've had to figure out on my own. DIY or like cash is king, people that I lean on are there to help me. And that's kind of how I want to pursue this. Like, DIY would dispatch my truck. I already have an idea on what I would like a driver to do, and I don't think it's that bad. It's actually not a bad deal at all. I thought about it, and it's a deal I would take if I was looking to be a company driver and want home time and make good money. I think I came up with something pretty good. Now, I've ran it by a couple of people, and they seem to think it's good. So now it's just, do I have the cojones to do it? You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I'll share this. I sat on becoming an owner operator I had the desire for about 5 years. I sat on it for 3 years. I pulled the trigger at the right time, right before the market, right before the equipment went through the roof. But you know what? I regret not pulling the trigger sooner. So that's kind of what's playing in my mind right now, is I found a good deal on what I think is a good truck. I'm going to go look at it along with my mechanic. If the truck's sound, I need to pull the trigger. Like, I learned by becoming an owner operator last year that I should have done it a little bit sooner. So I'm going to do it. You know, as long as, you know, I still have to talk to my wife. I still have to talk to my bank, which it shouldn't be. I mean, honestly, I don't want to be cash poor, but I mean, I could buy the truck outright right now if I wanted to. It's just how big are my cojones right now, you know what I mean? But let me get back to your comment here, Vic. Vic Med, think about it. You don't have to dispatch the driver until you get out of your truck. But right now, you and the driver will be dispatched. Yeah, so everything you said is exactly what I've thought about. And honestly, like, it's the same advice that somebody I really look up to has kind of given me. So Nomadic Brit, how do you find a quality driver? So that's going to be the tough part. And to be honest with you, like I shared a little bit ago, is let's say I purchase this truck, because I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be a little bit particular for a couple of reasons. A, whoever I think can drive the truck needs to qualify through the carrier that I'm leased onto. Two, if I don't find a fit for that guy or for the truck, guy or girl, to be honest with you, if I sit on the truck, say for 90 days, 3 months, 4 months, I can make money reselling the truck. And it's not all about money, but like it's not something that will break me. It's not, even if I finance, say I put half down, my truck payment would be $300 a month. I mean, it would be nothing. $300 is money. I'm not pretending it's not, but I'm not afraid of that. You know what I mean? Barry, evening people. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Hit the thumbs up for me if you don't mind. With both feet. Hi all. How's everyone? We're doing good. How are you doing with both feet? Vic Med, bro, you have a solid foundation with the people that are behind you. Man, that's a solid plan. Don't regret. Yeah, right? Yeah, I need that voice in my head all the time telling me don't regret, like, don't sit on something. When something's right, I've spent my whole life, that's not true. I've spent a good portion of my life evaluating risk. I made some bad decisions in my life when I was younger. So the older I've gotten and when I became a father, like, I have evaluated a lot of decisions I've made in my life, and sometimes to a fault. Meaning I miss opportunities or I don't take opportunities that are good for me because I'm hesitant, I'm scared, I think about the worst case scenario, which I think we should think about, but in all honesty, the worst case scenario is, in this situation, is not going to kill me. So I started this with a plan and a dream, and after 13 months, well, February, tomorrow will be 13 months, I have positioned myself to where this could be a possibility and have enough knowledge that when I see a deal or see equipment at like good prices, I should pull the trigger, Barry, equipment is a write-off. Financing will help your business credit. So I already have business credit. I have good personal credit. I got lucky. I'll be honest with you. I bank at a credit union that the VP of the credit union is somebody I went to school with. So I've asked for money before I had any business credit, and it was just given to me. So I'm not, obviously having write-offs, doing taxes, all that's a good thing. We should think about those things, but that's like secondary to what I'm thinking right now. And I'm not trying to downplay what you said, Barry, at all. I'm just saying that will be the next step after I pull the trigger on this step. Does that make sense? I don't want to put 2 feet in front of 1 foot. Get the driver lined up first. Cash is king. Yeah, I've thought about that. I know a couple of people. I have an idea on what I would want this driver to do, and I don't think it's asking too much at all, to be honest with you. And I would almost like it to be somebody I don't know, though. You know what I mean? Kind of like how you don't want to loan family money. I don't know if I want to be in I don't know if my first employee should be somebody I know in case I have to like terminate them. That could ruin a friendship. A lot of my friends are truck drivers. A lot of them have no interest in going over the road, but the few that do, I don't know if I would want to ruin my friendship with them. But that is a good idea. Scott and chat, have to go, has got a midnight start. Later's from the Brit. Yeah, take it easy, man. Drive safe, or get some sleep. Cash is king. Yeah, it's awkward firing your family. Yeah, you know, and like I said, maybe I'm just dreaming, but I feel like I'm in a position where dreams are more possible today than they've ever been. And, you know, like I said, I talk to people that matter to me. I talk to people that I really respect their opinions. I talk to my parents, you know. I believe I'm doing all the right things. It's just, am I willing to take another gamble on myself? You know, how many times do you double down before you lose? You know? But yeah. And like I said, the truck being broke down. I'll tell you a little bit about this. Well, I don't want to share too many details about this truck I found. I will say it is another Mack. Everything looks good on it. And what would happen is if I do this, if I purchase this other truck, that's going to be my truck. My truck that currently is in Virginia, getting whatever is wrong with it fixed, would be the truck I would put an employee in. The reasoning behind that is my truck is a solid truck. I haven't had many things go wrong with it. The things that have gone wrong with my truck are all things you expect to go wrong with a truck that has 560,000 miles on it. My truck's in great condition. That's the truck I would probably give to an employee, and I would drive the truck I'm purchasing. Because I don't know anything about it, really, you know. So that's my plan, at least. Barry, yeah, Cash is right. Love you, brother. Oh, by the way, you're fired. Yeah, right? Funny story, my brother owns my brother's really talented in like restoration work, right? Like he gets permits from the state of Minnesota to restore like what's the word? Like historic buildings and things like that, and like walls on Summit Avenue that were built, you know, in the turn of the century. He gets permits through the state to like redo these bricks. And the thing is, I needed my roof done. And my brother's a general contractor, owns his own business, but he specializes in like restoration work and chimney work. But I didn't hire him to redo my roof. Oh my goodness. I didn't hear the end of that for about 7-8 months. About how I was getting ripped off, and my insurance was paying for it. It wasn't like money coming out of my pocket, but I didn't want to mix family and business. Now, I love my brother, but when I wanted my roof done, I wanted it done the next day or the day after. And you know what? I didn't want my brother to like extend that because I would get mad. So I didn't hire him to do my roof, and I never lived it down. But you know what? In all honesty, like, I think it was the right decision. The contractor came out, bid my roof, ordered the shingles, and it was done like a day and a half, 2 days later. My brother doesn't have a big crew, so it probably would have taken him longer to get the job done. Hold on one second. Doesn't mean I don't have love for him. I just didn't want to mix business and work. Or business and family, sorry. Yeah, so things are going good. Even though the truck's broke down, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not you know, I should speak on this. If you want to become an owner operator, I highly recommend, Cash is King talks about this, DIY Semi talks about it, Vic Med talked about it the other night in his live. Um, do your research. When you're out here on the road, you see all the big names, right? You see them all. I'll share a story here with you real quick. I leased on to a small carrier. Now, here's the benefits of leasing on to like a smaller carrier where you're not just a number. When my truck broke down, I was under a load. Now, it broke down early in the morning. I did not call DIY right away in the morning because I knew he was sleeping. And I knew everything he was going to do is stuff that I can handle. Try and call a 24-hour service. Try and find a dealership nearby. Call a wrecker. Those are all things that he has taught me, right? By other incidences that I've had happen. You got to think for yourself out here. You can't always rely on somebody else. But the point of the story is, I had a load under me. What did DIY do? When I finally told him I was broke down, this guy got in his truck and drove from Wisconsin to Virginia. Like, hustled. Got there. Him and I teamed the load that I was under to Louisiana. And then we were supposed to bring a backhaul back, but it canceled. And then we drove from Louisiana back to Wisconsin. I dropped him off. We came up with a deal to rent his truck, and I'm in his truck. That's the benefits of working for a small carrier. Somebody that actually like wants you to succeed and cares about you. And I'm not saying big companies don't care about you. Over my 20 years, I've worked for some pretty big companies, and I was just a number. They did not know me by name. After I gave them my employee number, oh, hi, Scott, how you doing, It was always, you're in tractor, blah, 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 correct? Yep. I have a personal relationship with the fleet owner that I'm leased onto, and I know every other driver that's leased onto him has the same relationship. That's the benefits that come with, like, doing research. Cash is King talks about this when he does his weekly recaps. He's not going to tell you the company that he's leased onto. It's not because, he's afraid or anything like that. It's because he did the work to find the company that he's leased onto, that if you want to be an owner-operator, you should do the same thing. You should research companies. You should get an idea, interview them, talk to the fleet owner and see if it's somebody you could work for. If he's got time to talk to you on the phone and you ask him 5-6 questions, then he's probably got the time to like get to know who you are versus calling just a recruiter, you know what I mean? And once again, I'm not saying working for a big company is a bad thing. I know it wouldn't have worked for me starting out as an owner operator. I probably would have failed due to like lack of tutelage, to be honest with you. I'm a big believer in mentorship. I'm a big believer at sitting at a table. I heard another guy talk about this the other day. Sitting at a table that you probably shouldn't belong at, all of a sudden you belong. If you're sitting with 5 people that are successful, you're going to be the 6th. I couldn't agree with that statement anymore. Anyways, story time with yeah, I hope you enjoyed that story. Vic Med. Pick the guy's brain. I'm sure he can guide you in the right way. Yeah, believe me, I've talked to him multiple times today on this subject. And honestly, not just today. This is something I've been talking about for a long time, directly with him. And here's the thing. It's okay to have multiple mentors. I have 2 mentors that are in the trucking industry. You all know them. They're in here. One of them's in here tonight. My mentors are successful people in this industry. And then I have a mentor that actually is in real estate because I'm like dabbling in real estate. So I have 3 different perspectives, right? Now, I know for a fact that what DIY says to me, my other mentor might think it's too much of a headache, and he'll be honest with me about his experiences as being a business owner and having employees, and what he liked about it and what he didn't like about it. And what you do as a mentee is you take that all in and you devise a plan that works for you. And that plan might be you don't go ahead and do something, or you do go ahead and do something. You know what I mean? And just because you might not always agree with what a mentor is saying to you, if you're respectful to them, they'll respect whatever decision you make. They might mess with you a little bit, but they'll respect the decision you make because they know it's coming from not like a shoot from the hip type of decision, but a long decision process. And I believe if more of us did that, we would all be in better positions. I don't like hearing the horror stories of trucking, because the reality is, like I said before, I've always had a job in trucking. You know what I mean? Are there downsides of trucking? Absolutely. But it has given me a life. I've raised my entire family. I've raised 5 people on my trucking income alone. And I always haven't been an owner-operator. So trucking has done a lot of good things for me in my life that I want to give to other people. You know what I mean? But yeah, chat's kind of slowed down. There's still a couple of people in here. Don't know how long I'm going to keep this going tonight. I should get some rest. I got to meet this other guy tomorrow morning in Gary, Indiana. So, yeah. Where's everybody at tonight? You guys watch football? Man, football yesterday was awesome. I'll be honest with you, I wanted Matt Stafford to win. I think it's cool that Cincinnati's in it, but I didn't think they were going to beat the Chiefs. I didn't think the Rams were going to beat the 49ers, though, either. Fun football. I got to watch a little bit of it. One thing I love, another story, is I don't know how many of you read reviews on where you're delivering to or picking up from. I always read them. Where I delivered to this morning, my appointment was at 2 o'clock this morning, 2 a.m. The reviews were horrible. And you know what? I had the best experience. I got in, I checked in, 10 minutes after checking in, I had a door. An hour after that, I had my paperwork, lumper receipt, and everything in hand, and I was out of there before my appointment time. It's funny. I read about 50 bad reviews to where I was scared about being able to make it for my back haul, and I got out of there in no time. I always find that funny. I ended up giving the place 5 stars and wrote a great review because my experience was great. Yeah, so, man, Cash, how do you get people to keep chatting in your stuff? Big Dog Trucker 68. Hey, brother. Hey, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Oh, sorry, I get updates on my phone. Asian Mai just put out another video. Man, that guy puts out so many dang videos. I don't know how he does it all. But yeah, we're just chilling here tonight. I'll say something else that's kind of funny. This is what I'm living out of right now. This little tiny cooler. I'm used to having, I think I've shown my, what's it called again? Bodega. I have a bodega freezer and refrigerator cooler. And now I'm living out of this little ice Coleman cooler. We're slumming it. We're slumming it here. I'm just joking. I got Lunchables and stuff, and I normally cook all my own food, but not in the big orange machine. Nope. I can't. I don't even have enough clothes. Like I said, I'm wearing DIY semi sweatshirt, driving his truck. He's got a bunch of food in here. Maybe I start eating that. He'd probably charge me for it. Which he should, if I'm eating his stuff. Chicken Holler 2 skateboard. Checking in, heading to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Oh, really? Pick up chicken in St. Cloud, right? Or are you going to, it's either St. Cloud or Paynesville. One of those two. Paynesville's got chicken coops over there. Just got to my delivery for the morning. Oh, so you're going to shut down and sleep there and wait until the morning time, huh? I like doing that too. It's good to see that you're doing that, Big Dog Trucker 68. You know, saves on my clock. That's how I look at it. Although I'm driving a glider truck right now, so I don't have to worry about that. You guys have glider kits? Are you guys all running ELDs and stuff? Because I'll tell you what, it's definitely a lot less stressful driving a truck that you don't have an ELD in. Now, I don't think ELDs are necessarily that bad, to be honest with you. And that's not because I'm lazy. It's because I don't mind split logging. I've had no problems. I mean, running out of hours sucks. But other than that, I mean, it's not, running E-logs isn't that bad. I remember when they first started, I worked for a company that's really enforced them. And it took some getting used to. But now it's just kind of, you know, I almost forgot like how to do paper logs and crap like that. Because it's been so long. I remember when I started trucking, I worked for a local company. And we didn't even have to do paper logs. They all went off of our time cards. You know, if you had X amount of hours, they told you to come back, or you couldn't work a Saturday if you had 60 hours, and it was kind of weird. Big Dog Trucker, you're in Dallas. How's the weather down there? Wasn't there I think I've heard there's a storm that started down in like the Texas area and is working its way up north here. Are you in any bad weather? If you are, give us a little bit of a weather update. Let us know what it's like down there. I know a lot of us, I'm from Minnesota, and I'm not talking bad about anybody here, but like weather doesn't really concern me. I mean, if the weather's bad, I get off the road, but I mean, living in Minnesota, I grew up in northern Minnesota. I'm used to driving on bad roads, icy roads, snowing conditions, you know, and I know there's a lot of people that want to head south in the wintertime to kind of avoid that, which I understand too. If you're not used to it, it's kind of scary. I get it. Kelly Patterson, afternoon, all afternoon. How you doing? Thought you were a monitor. Well, now you are. Sorry for the late wrench, Kelly. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody got a topic they want to kind of talk about, or ask me any weird questions that I might have the answer to? Sorry, I'm at a really busy place. I'm just kind of watching everything. I like doing that. I like watching. You know what I can't stand though is when you're in a truck stop, don't drive 40 miles an hour, man. I almost got hit walking out of the place today. There was a truck that came in, so I stopped, let him go by me. As soon as he went by me, I started walking. Another truck just came flying down, and I threw my hands up like, yo, why are you trying to kill me, son? And just went in to get my love soda, which I probably shouldn't be drinking. I do drink soda. I call it soda or pop. But I drink diet, and I didn't. I went and got a Dr. Pepper, which will probably keep me up all night, and I should try and get some sleep. Big Dog Trucker, no bad weather here today, but they had the brine truck out because they were expecting a winter storm Wednesday night into Thursday. Oh, okay. Weird question. Do you play Final Fantasy online? No. I don't play any games anymore. Matter of fact, I don't know, maybe a month ago I was asking people about games. I don't play any video games anymore. I used to all the time. I used to get laid off in the winters, and that's when like the first generation Xbox came out, so I used to play a lot of Madden, and I believe ESPN had a football game then too. I played that. And then when the 360 came out, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. But once my kids got older, I quit playing video games because they required my attention, And actually that was, when was that? I quit playing video games like 2008. But I've asked about PC games and stuff like that. My daughter's teaching me how to play, what's that game? All the kids play it now. She's going to teach me how to play it. It's kind of like a Call of Duty where you fly from the sky and onto the ground and, you attack other people. God, can't remember the name of it. But she said she would teach me how to play that because then I could play with her. I won a free Madden 22. Now I have to go get the new Xbox if I want to play it. Yeah. Good luck. Well, not good luck. They're just expensive, Which is another funny topic. How many of you are willing to spend whatever it takes on your truck, but not go and spend, what's a new PlayStation? $400? Maybe they're more than that now. I wouldn't spend $400 on a video console game or a video console, whatever they are. But I'll certainly spend however much I need to on my truck. Well, my truck also generates me money. I'm not good enough to be making money playing video games. Halo. Not Halo. I used to play Halo. It's Fortnite. Fortnite. That's what it is. She and a bunch of her girlfriends play Fortnite when they're done with school. This is my oldest daughter. She's a high school student, but she takes all college courses, so she gets done with school early or doesn't have to go in some days and just does online stuff. So a bunch of her and her friends sit there and play Fortnite all night. And she said, "Hey, Dad, I can give you this controller and I'll teach you how to play." That way, it's something to do with my kids when I'm on the road, because I'll be honest, I call them, I FaceTime them, but that's about it. You know what I mean? I don't want to say I don't interact with them, because I do. I'll read a book that my daughter's reading, or she gave me a book for Christmas that I finished, and we talk about that because reading's something she enjoys. So we'll talk about that. But I don't have, when I'm on the road, the interaction's so weird. And the fact that they're older now too, even when I'm at home, they obviously love me and crap like that, but I'm not the center of their life. Their sports, their friends, they definitely are more important than I am. The insult investor. Hey, so do you take my advice on how to bypass? So I did some research. I meant to, you brought this up last time, I think, or maybe you commented on something. When my truck derated to not allow me to go more than 5 miles an hour, I did start Googling stuff. And one of the things it said I could do was remove the speed sensor, which is connected down by the transmission. Now, I don't really know where it is. Had I gone under the truck and looked, I would have. But here's the thing. The fact that my truck's an automatic, if I would have disconnected that sensor, this is what the mechanic told me, I would have done serious damage to my transmission. So, yes, I read about it, insult, but I don't think it was advice that pertained to me, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying your advice was bad or wrong. It was not what I could do at the time. There's a fuse you can take out. Oh, okay. See, I didn't. The ABS fuse. Now I think you're messing with me, insult. I think you're messing with me. I don't know whether I should heed that advice or not, because now I think you're messing with me. Because what would my ABS sensor have anything to do with a derate because of death? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a mechanic. You are. But, yeah. Anyways. Oh, I don't know. Ask me another question, Kelly. Was that you that asked me the question? If you're still in here. Oh, sorry, I missed a couple of them. Kelly Patterson. I would for the Ps5 Virtual Reality features. Yeah. So that stuff's super cool. And you know what? I played a virtual reality game at a I went to a Gophers hockey game, University of Minnesota, and they had a virtual reality game where you put these goggles on and you were a goalie and you had to face people taking penalty shots. And you're standing with a stick and a glove. It was crazy. It was, you felt like you were like actually in the game. So yeah, virtual reality is pretty damn cool. But once again, when am I going to actually play the damn console? You know what I mean? When I'm at home, there's other things I have to do. I have to be a husband. I have to be a father. I have to be a business owner. There's so much crap I have to do when I'm at home that playing video games is just out of the question for right now. Maybe if I'm able to like hire 10 drivers and just sit at home, then I can play video games. See, that's a misconception that a lot of people have. At least the people that I've been around. I used to work for a guy, he owned a dairy company. Started it with one truck, and when he sold the business, I think he had 26 trucks. And I'll tell you what, this guy, man, I actually viewed this guy kind of like a little father figure. He was an awesome dude, a little bit older gentleman. His name was Scott, same as mine. This guy was like one of the hardest working guys I know, you know what I mean? And I look at people like DIY, that guy busts his ass. It's not like he sits at home and does nothing all day. The guy's always got something to do. So I don't fall under this false pretense that if I was ever fortunate enough to like be a fleet owner, have my own authority, have people leased onto me, or run a company through another company, I know I'm not going to have all this free time just to sit around and do nothing. It's actually going to probably be more work than I'm doing now. Vic Med's a perfect example. How many times you see him go live or making a video and he's doing work, you know? I mean, I don't fall under that false pretense of if you get bigger and expand, that means you have less work. It actually, in my mind, means you have more work and more responsibility, and you should work 2, 3, 4 times as hard as you did when you were just one truck. Maybe that's the wrong thought process, but it's what I've seen out of successful people is they bust their butt harder than they probably did when it was just them, you know. Insult. Wow, insult. Sorry, I missed a couple of these. The ABS is what slows you down. It applies all the brakes. Still here. Oh, yeah, Kelly, I was asking you about your question, or your comment. PS4, how much they were, or PS5. I like the VR movies because you get IMAX level images in sleeper bursts. See, that's cool. I know there's a guy that's leased on where we're at, or where I'm at, that he's got a super cool setup in his truck. Big screen TV and video console, and you can watch all kinds of movies. I don't have any of that. My movies are watched here on my phone, if I even watch movies. Lately it's been, I don't have my GoPro, I don't have my dash cam, so I haven't been doing my trailer trucking vlogs, which I love. You can make fun of them, but I enjoy them. So I haven't put out any videos. That's how I kill my time. I spend a little bit of time editing stuff and then just go to bed, to be honest. It's like having a 60-inch... See, I think that's awesome. Fate Truckin, I don't know if you can see it, but I sent a link. Did you email me a link? And I'm still confused, and I'm seriously asking you, Insult Investor. Like, it wasn't my brakes. My brakes weren't engaging. It was the RPMs. Like, maybe like I said, I could be an absolute idiot here, but removing the ABS would just remove the ABS feature for my brakes, correct? That's not what the problem was. The problem was every time I put it into gear, the RPMs would build and then the alarm would go off and the RPMs would drop. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it here. I'll look at that later. I still don't know if I should trust you. That's the benefit of this channel, is we have great content, and then there's me that says I don't know if I should trust somebody that is subscribed to me and comments all the time. So I'm not trying to be rude. I don't really know how to navigate YouTube all that well yet. But yeah, I think it would be cool to have a big insult investor, and I'm not trying to waste anyone's time. Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'll look into it. It's beyond the point of me doing anything about it now, but maybe in the future it'll help me, you know. I mean, that's one thing I really like about this experience I'm on right now, is every day I'm learning something. And it sounds ridiculous or redundant, but it's the truth. Like, I'm learning something new every day. Things that if what you're saying is true about the ABS fuse or sensor or whatever, like, I didn't know that, and the couple of people I talked to didn't know about that. So if it works, great. It's something I can, work on. What's up, bro? NDS23, what's up, bro? New to the channel, love the content. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Trying to make stuff like entertaining and informational. I don't ever want to like people to think I'm preachy or anything like that, but I did experience something the other day. I was driving through Ohio and it was snowing and super windy, and I believe I was on Highway 30. So like you get out by like upper Sandusky area and past that a little bit, and there was snow just blowing all over the road, right? In the left lane. The right lane was still dry, wide open. So 2 cars went flying by me in the left lane. I was going too slow for them, evidently. I think I was going to 55 or 60 miles an hour because of road conditions. And then 2 semis went flying by me. And this is no lie. About 20 miles down the road, that Kenworth that went flying by me was in the ditch. That's a learning experience if you're a trainer and you have a trainee in the truck with you. Like, when you have signs flashing at you, road conditions may be icy, slow your speed. Like, they don't put those signs up for no reason. You should obey those. You know what I mean? And I just kind of, when I drove by the guy, there was already a trooper there. Because it was early in the morning. If there wouldn't have been a trooper there, I probably would have stopped. But there was a trooper there already, and I just thought to myself, like, man, had you not been in such a hurry, you wouldn't have gone by me at 70 miles an hour and ended up wrecking your truck. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. Nothing is worth destroying your equipment over. No load is worth it at all. So that's my little preachy session, because I see it so much. You know what I mean? I see it. I was just in out in Pennsylvania and New York. I call those mountains. I know it's not the Rockies. I know it's not parts of California, but they're mountains. And if you're not paying attention, you will lose control of your vehicle very quickly. And some of these people that are driving these trucks, man, 80 mile, I mean, they go flying by you and it looks like they're doing 80, 90 miles an hour. What is the point? I just do not see the point. To where they're riding their brakes down the whole downgrade, or they come up to a corner that's 55 miles an hour and they're going 70. It's crazy. Matter of fact, if you're on Highway 80, if you're driving east on Highway 80, I think it's mile marker 4 and mile marker 34, you're going to see 2 wrecks. I probably, jackknifed or lost control of their truck. And the reality is, a jackknife is like 9 times out of 10, it's the driver's fault. You know what I mean? Jackknifes can be preventable. based on your speed and how you are driving because of the conditions on the road. I believe that. Slow NDS 23, slow and steady wins the race. Correct. Couldn't agree more with you. I mean, I don't drive fast at all. I make every delivery between 62 and 66 miles an hour. 66 miles an hour is fast for me. That, I'll just be honest with you. I have no problem making any of my appointments, and I drive from Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, out east, out to Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. I haven't been there in a while. Connecticut. And you know what? 62 to 66 miles an hour. I haven't been late to an appointment yet. You know. Kelly, I will only chain up to get out of a situation, but not to get into one. I've seen lots of chained up trucks off in the ditch. Yep. Now that's something I can't speak on. I don't head that direction. I don't head west of 35 right now. And that's not because I don't want to. It's because the lanes that I like to run have stayed very consistent in pay, and I know what I can make. So everything I always heard was like, get familiar with lanes. When I started this, that's what I heard preached to me. Like, get familiar with lanes, get familiar with what it's like going to, let's say, Pennsylvania and then leaving Pennsylvania. Do that for a while and get to know, okay, if I go out here, I can make X amount of dollars, but I know coming back, this is the range that I can make. So that's what I try and do. I try and do out and backs, and I know what those lanes pay, you know. So I don't put chains on. It's like seeing, you know, where I'm from in northern Minnesota, somebody in a 4-wheel drive pickup truck is in the ditch more than you see the little Saturn. I mean, it's because they drive like bat out of hell, thinking their 4-wheel drive is going to keep them from, you know, not sliding off the road, when actually that's not the case at all. NDS 23, 65 miles per hour does it for me, because our trucks are regulated 66, be sweet, top speed. Yeah, that's why I chose 66 miles an hour, to be honest with you. Is the last two companies that I worked for before I became an owner-operator, that's what I was governed at, was 66.5 to be exact. And you know, I remember working for those two companies thinking, man, why can't I go 70 miles an hour? I'm on interstates, I'm on 94, all the signs are 70 miles an hour. All I want to do is go 70. No reason to, you know what I mean? At least, how can I say this? I do think there's times that going the speed limit or doing a little faster is probably beneficial. I just personally haven't ran into those cases yet where I need to pick up my speed. Now, like, I know parts of New Mexico and things like that, it's like 75 miles an hour or 80, isn't it? I mean, maybe going across that part of the country, it makes sense to go that fast. I just never have, you know. That's a nice truck. Sorry. Anyways. Besides your chains, you can pick up other chains that have fallen off truck and toss them up under truck, ripping airlines and such. Yeah, that's I'm sure a real problem. Once again, it's something I don't do, so I can't speak on it. I've never had to throw chains, so I don't even know how to do it. If you want to be if you want me to be honest with you, I don't know how to throw chains. I haven't had to, and if I go my whole career without ever having to, well, I'm okay with that. You know. Plus, I've heard horror stories. If you run that where you're putting chains on, like, what is it, Highway 70 or Highway 80 out west, like, people getting shut down for multiple days. That happened to me last winter on I-90 in South Dakota. I drove through a blizzard and they shut the highways down. And the blizzard was so bad that it knocked out all the power to the truck stop. So like nobody could get fuel. There was guys stuck in the truck stop because so much snow had fallen and nobody was there to clear the snow. So they were just spinning their tires. It's pretty crazy. Lucky I didn't survive it. I survived it, but I did go off the road a little bit. I got stuck. Another story by Fate Truckin here. I got stuck in between where they shut the roads down, right? So like I had just gone by one of the arms that comes over I-90, and the next arm was like 45 miles up the road. And weather was getting bad to the point where it's like, okay, I need to get off the road. I was going about 25 miles an hour. I had a full load of beer on, and I thought I was driving in like the middle of the highway. Now, mind you, I'm the only one on the highway. I don't see anybody. All of a sudden, I come up to a car that is in front of me. First car I'd seen in probably a half hour. That car spun out in front of me. And the way it spun out is it spun out and came over into the right lane and then back into the left lane into the ditch. Well, I thought it was in the middle of the road. So I start veering to the left as the car is going to the right, and all of a sudden I just feel the shoulder grab my tires, right? And I was going slow enough that I knew, okay, I'm gonna be able to stop before I actually go into the median here. But yeah, my front steer tire and one axle of my drive tires was off the pavement, so my truck was kind of leaning like this, and it just buried my truck. I couldn't move, but the trailer and everything was still on the highway, so not jackknife, straight. So I got out, threw flare, or no, I didn't have flares, just threw out my triangles and then called the state patrol, and they were there within, I don't know, probably an hour. And then the tow truck came probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours after that, pulled me out of the ditch. And the trooper's like, why are you on the road? How'd you get around the barricade? And I said, there was no barricade. Well, he's like, oh, you must have got caught right as we put the arms down. And by the time I got pulled out into the next exit, they had that exit barricaded too, or the highway barricaded. So I didn't really survive it, but I did. Like, I didn't cause any damage to the truck, but I had to get towed out of the ditch and then sit at the truck stop for 2 days. It was like a day and a half, actually, before they opened the highway back up. Kind of crappy. NDS 23, living in California plus driving local, I wouldn't know what chains are meant for, LOL. Well, Northern California is mountainy, right? I've never been out there, but I know people go skiing and stuff out there. Kelly Patterson, I was shut down in Lamar for 3 days a few weeks back. Yeah, like that's kind of crap. Like, I guess when you run that lane, you know that can happen to you, so you're well prepared, I'm assuming, Kelly. Like, you have food, you have everything you need, you know. With both feet, I had one tractor flat and one trailer flat due to a chain link puncture. People go too fast and don't remove chains when they should. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because chains have rating, right? What is it, like 30 miles an hour or something like that? I do know that just from watching YouTube, to be honest. And, man, what was that? Highway Rescue or something like that. One of those towing shows, I used to watch that, and they would talk about speeds for chains. Wayne, what up, dude? How did you get your CDL? Did you go through a mega carrier school, etc.? No, I got my CDL. So after high school, I went to college for a little bit, and college just was not for me. So my father was a regional manager of a construction supply company. He brought me to work one day, and I was a helper in the truck. So I helped deliver structural steel, drywall, all construction products. We had boom trucks. And when I turned 20 years old, they needed a flatbed driver. And that company, I went to the DMV and I got the book. I studied, took my permit test, passed that. And then the company just trained me, which I was fortunate, I learned how to drive the flatbed, and then I moved up into the Class A vehicles, and same thing. They paid for my test and let me use their trucks to take my test, and that's how I got my Class A license. I didn't have to go through a mega carrier or any truck driving school. But that was back in 99, 2000, I want to say is when I did that. I think it was 2000. Because 99, I would have been 8. Yeah, it was 2000 or 2001. With both feet, they grind the chains down and throw them. Okay. The further, NDS 23, the furthest I go is Arizona and back. Okay. California to Arizona, huh? My aunt and uncle they just built a house out in Arizona. They're moving out there in March, I think. Kelly, yep, Def Food, LOL. My YouTube account is 18 Wheel Chef. Yeah, you're in Cash King's channel a lot. I know who you are, Kelly. With both feet. Big storm east of Seattle tonight, I think. Okay. Yeah, I keep hearing about a storm coming from the south up to the Midwest. Which, storms are storms. I shut down, when was that? Probably 2 weeks ago. I shut down in North Dakota because of a storm. Sometimes all you can do is wait it out. Even if you're not forced to. I mean, waiting it out's not always a bad thing. I used to work with a guy. This was this construction company. It was like January or February, and he was driving through a residential neighborhood. I think the speed limit would have been like 40, 45 miles an hour. And he had a Camaro, which if you live in the Midwest or like Minnesota, it's cool to have rear-wheel drive vehicles, but like not in the wintertime, and especially not something low to the ground like that in the wintertime. You put that in the shed for the winter. But he had a Camaro leave the parking lot of a apartment complex and floored it, right? To like make the turn out in front of him. Well, when the girl floored it, it actually fishtailed, and she drove, like, they hit head on. She drove into the truck, and he ran the truck over, killed the girl. And I'll tell you what, he was never the same. He was never the same. He kept working there, but I'm not going to share his name, but that guy was never the same. And to be honest with you, the company I worked for, like, sued her insurance company for damage to our truck, punctured tires, all kinds of stuff. And I remember this guy was really pissed off. Like, what are you doing? Why are we suing her insurance company? But, I mean, she was at fault. Still scary. Sterling, I thought you were going to bed, man. Make absolutely sure your wife is cool with you expanding your company. Ask me how expensive it is to fight for your LLC in a divorce. Yeah. My wife will definitely be a part of this decision. I am not somebody that does anything I talk to my wife about everything. Everything that like involves money or involves our family, my wife, she's the rock of my family. I would not be here without her. So yeah, I discuss everything with her. And yeah, I have no, sorry you went through a divorce, man. I was divorced. I mean, my current wife is my second wife. Yeah, I don't wish a divorce on my worst enemy. And mine was pretty low key, due to reasons. Anyways, that's too personal. Mine worked out in my favor, but I still do not. Divorce is not something I wish on my worst enemy. So sorry you went through that. I'm glad you came out on the other side though and got to keep your LLC. Yeah, and like I said, honestly, like if I do this, my wife's gonna have to like kind of help me with things. I don't plan on not driving. I plan on working as hard as I work now, and I'm gonna have to do payroll, and I'm gonna have to do all those things. So I'm hoping that if I do this, she's willing to like help me out. Can you guys hold on one quick second? Sorry, bad habits call. Yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, I think I've shared before. I would love to do an interview with my wife. And I mean, I understand a lot of my subscribers and a lot of people in this chat, you're experienced in trucking. You don't need to hear, some of the information I have, which I get. Like, you have more experience than me as owner operators and things like that. But one thing I would really like to do is like interview my wife about being a trucker's wife. I know that sounds stupid, but we're a family of 5. There's 3 kids, 2 adults, and I, along with my family, made a decision that, hey, I'm going to become an over-the-road truck driver. I'm going to have my own truck. I'm going to operate an LLC, and we all are going to sacrifice certain things to achieve the ultimate goal. Now, my wife and I have an ultimate goal, so do my kids, but like it wasn't just a decision made up by myself. So I would love to interview my wife, which I don't know if she ever would, and I don't know if I want to put her on YouTube and let people, I don't know. People are kind of a-holes sometimes, and I don't ever want that to be part of my channel. But I think somebody new to trucking, it's cool to hear the side of like the parent that's at home. That happens to be my wife. I know there's women truck drivers where the husband's at home. You know what I mean? I think new drivers or people that are thinking about getting into the trucking industry as a career, how do you parent on the road? I still parent my kids and I'm on the road. Now, like I've said before, my children are older. My oldest is almost 18. My youngest is almost 15. They're self-sufficient. The boy is 16 years old. They're self-sufficient. They don't need mommy and daddy there to coddle them all the time. But you still have to be a parent. You can't like relinquish all your responsibilities because you're out on the road. You still have your parental responsibilities. It's just in a different way. I mean, it used to be wait until your dad gets home. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my wife telling my daughters that, wait until your dad gets home. Well, now it's, do I need to call your father? Because the reality is, I'll just share my experience real quick. If you guys get bored, leave something in the chat saying change the topic, and I will. But let me say this. I'm out on the road, right? I 100% take my wife's side on any discussion that she's having with my children. That doesn't mean that I don't have a conversation with like my daughters, because I have a stepson. So if I'm not mentioning him, it's not, I'm an influence in his life. I'm not like he's got a mother and father. You know what I mean? My daughters are my responsibility. So I still parent on the road. But number one rule is I always tend to agree with my wife before I hear any other sides. Why? Because she's the one at home. She is the one that is doing the discipline. She is the one that is seeing things. I'm only hearing them. You know what I mean? So I 100%, 9 times out of 10, side with my wife before any discussion with my kids, or even if I think my daughters have like a viable argument. The reality is I'm not there. You need to respect Jamie, and you need to do what she says. If you choose not to, there's consequences. And sometimes I'm in the wrong with that, but you know what? I'm not the parent that's at home. So that's what I do. Oh, sorry. Sorry, wow, you guys commented a lot. I apologize. Sterling, $129,000 and I barely get to see my daughter. Damn, dude. I don't know how to, like, Sterling, I'm sorry you're going through that, man. I mean no disrespect if I jump over a comment like that. It's because, honestly, like, I have empathy for people. Like, I feel bad that that happened to you. That shouldn't happen. I'm a firm believer that children need both parents in their lives. Even if the parents can't get along, there should be some sort of amicable way to, like, parent. You know what I mean? They say behind every successful man is a strong woman. Yeah, my wife is very strong. Yeah, whoever deleted that comment, thanks. Do that. Oh, Sterling did. Sterling, but my company survived, and she can go to any school she wants. Yeah, that's, you know what? It's funny you bring that topic up. So my daughter got into some pretty prestigious colleges. She's a freaking smart kid, man. I don't know where she got it from, because it ain't me. I was kind of a recluse, you know. She just got all of her financial aid stuff in the mail from the college she chose to go to. And my daughter's going to a very good university. And because of her academics and already her college, like, she already has so many college credits, she's going to pay, like, I think it's $3,000 a year to go to school. That's it. And that's before any of the other grants she's getting. That's the scholarship and grant that the school, the university she chose, is willing to give her. Which I think the school is, I think it's like $22,000 a year or something like that. And she's only going to have to pay $3,000 a year. So pretty excited for her. That's cool, Sterling. Yeah, NDS23, trucker's wife is the hardest job. Grew up with my mom being a trucker wife, and now my wife. I'm home every night, but I'm gone. Okay, dude, that's what I'm talking about, NDS23, is that's the type of conversation that I want to have with my wife, because I was a local driver that was gone all the time. I came home, I ate, and I went to bed. And this sounds ridiculous because I'm on, let's see, the last time I was at home, if you guys have been following my channel, is when I made the ice fishing videos. So that was the beginning of January. But you know what? If I could get my wife on the phone right now, she would say, the minute that I come home, I'm more present. I am more involved in my family life than I ever was as a local guy, including the weekends. I worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week when I was a local driver, because it paid for me to work more hours. So I think that's information that maybe somebody new to the industry would like to hear. Yeah, you're home every night, and, like, good, I'm glad you're home every night, but, like, your wife still, for however long you said, 12 to 14 hours a day, is the sole parent or the sole provider of that household. I mean, I probably missed more, like, school functions and things when I was a local guy than I do now. You know what I mean? Because I can go home. You know, I can make the decision, no, I'm not missing this, I'm going home, and I'm there. So, yeah. Kelly, I'm divorced. Wife could not handle me being gone, and 2 miscarriages did not help. Anyhow, we still chat and talk. That's tough, man. You know, it's funny. This is going to get deep. Stay with me, though. It's funny how much we all have in common. And maybe that's just because I'm such a small channel, but it's funny how many of us have lived through the same experiences. Sorry you went through that with your wife, man. You know, yeah, sorry you went through that. That's tough. NDS23, my kids get grounded through. Yeah, so do mine. Or the worst is, the worst is when you have to discipline your kids and then you leave the next day. You know what I mean? I hate that. Like, everything's been good for 5-6 days. On the 7th day, you know, 2 hours before I'm going to bed, there's this huge argument. My kids get grounded, and I wake up at 3 in the morning to leave and don't get a chance to, like, you know, give them a kiss. You know what I mean? But yeah, my kids have been grounded through FaceTime too. Sterling, growing up, my mom would always say, don't make... Hold on. Growing up, my mom would always say, don't make me wake your father. He worked nights at UPS. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I grew up that way too, and like, so have my daughters. You know, like, don't bother your dad. Don't make me go down and wake your dad up. You know, it's funny. Kelly, while I was at GP Transco, I would stay out 6 weeks, then take off 6 or 7 days. Wow, 6 weeks, that's a long time. I've done a couple of marathons like that. That's probably the biggest thing I'm going to kind of work on this year, is kind of like a work-family balance. Not that I work a lot because I think I should. You know what I mean? I have goals and ambitions. But when you're out 6 weeks, I've done a couple of those 6 weeks, couple of 8 weeks. It gets to you, man. But then I do take time off. Anybody that knows cash is king and DIY semi, they rip on me for that all the time, taking time off. Because I'll say, yeah, I'm going to go home for a couple of days. Couple of days turns into 7-8 days. And, you know, but that's honestly a benefit that I have. Because I have worked hard. I'm good with my money. I own my assets. So if I want to take time off to do whatever, I do it, you know. NDS 23. Work my pop's truck at night. He and owner-operator hauling containers off the ports this year. You started driving for him, okay. That port work's no joke, man. Those guys bust their ass. Yeah, port, especially right now. Earlier today, if you should maybe NDS 23 subscribe to Vic Med. He knows a lot about the container industry. Flatbedder Rick, how you doing? Oh, we're doing good here. How you doing, Flatbed Rick? Where are you at tonight? NDS 23. Tired of working for a company. Yeah, you know, when I made the decision to go the route I'm going, that's what it just got to. I got tired of being freaking miserable every day, to be honest with you. Knowing the way that I worked, that the only things that could really stop me from being successful were like out of my control. Meaning a bad accident, or, you know, like I knew and believed in myself enough that I just got tired of being a company guy and wanted to try it for myself. And the reality was, I thought if it didn't work, I can always find another job. And that's still the case today. I don't know if I could ever go back and work for another company. It would have to be, I don't know how I could do it. And it's not because of money, it's just because of the freedom. You know what I mean? It's the freedom. I like that. And I like the challenge of trying to operate a small LLC, to be honest with you. I mean, I hold, some of you might laugh at this, I hold business meetings where I write stuff down and talk to myself in the bunk. I hold business meetings. I set goals. I do all my own profit and loss statements. I enjoy that aspect of it. It takes up time, but I enjoy it. And I want the challenge. Came from Maine, headed to Alabama. Oh, Kelly, sorry, I missed. It looks like I missed a couple. Kelly, I don't currently have a girlfriend, wife, or kids, so no tie downs. So staying out, not an issue. Yeah, good. Good. Make the money while we can, right? Because there's going to be a day where you don't want to be out that long, and you won't have to be. You know? NDS 23. That's where I get all my info from and found your channel. Oh, cool. Well, thank you. AKK for a bit. Smoke break. Okay. Flatbedder came from Maine, headed to Alabama. I like Alabama. So this is going to sound dumb. I'm from Minnesota, right? And I, when I was a company guy, I used to travel for the company I worked for, and I had to go out to Alabama for a couple of months. And I went and watched Auburn University. I worked right outside of the city of Auburn and the college. And it was middle of February, and I went and watched an Auburn University softball game. And I thought that was so cool, being outside in the middle of February watching a softball game. Because my daughter's a big softball player, so I happen to like softball and soccer. So yeah, I liked Alabama. Alabama wasn't bad. NDS 23. The way I see it is that I work really hard for a company. Why not work that hard for myself and get my own money, not what the company wants to pay me? Yeah, so that's, I mean, that is true. You know, I do think that you can't I'm not saying I disagree with you, because I do agree with you. You're getting paid what you're essentially worth. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to steal anybody's tagline or anything like that, but like, that's the truth. You're being paid more, but you're also holding a whole bunch more responsibility. You know, you say you drive for your dad right now, so I don't know how much like responsibility he's like put onto you. But your responsibilities, you're being paid not just for the work. You're being paid for all the responsibilities that come with doing the work. Hence, you break down at 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't have a 1-800 number to call. If you work for a small carrier like me, you don't want to wake up the owner of that carrier at 2:30 in the morning. You want to learn how to take care of all those responsibilities yourself and figure it out, because that's what you're being paid to do. You're being paid to take care of the freight, the container in your case, but also all the responsibilities that come with that. I think so. I think what this market has done for us, this is my opinion, right? You can agree with it or disagree with it. For a long time, I heard somebody once say, if you look up truck driving, it is classified as unskilled labor, right? I don't know many unskilled labor positions that require special licenses, special training now that is required through the FMCSA and is so heavily regulated. That doesn't sound like unskilled labor to me. However, that's what it's categorized as. Now, I think the problem is, for so many years, we were kind of being, whether you're a company guy or an owner operator, we were kind of being paid as that. We were being paid a lot less than what we knew we were doing. Well, now the current market we're in, we're making doctor money. Even guys that are company drivers are making fantastic money. I think that's thrown a wrench in it, to be honest with you, because a lot of people just see the dollar signs and don't realize, whether you're a company guy or an owner operator, all the responsibility that comes with that dollar amount you're getting paid. You know, that means you should follow the speed limits. You should follow the signs. You know, if you want to be paid as a skilled labor, like I said, there's people making doctor money out here. Then you should freaking act like it. And I think there's a whole bunch of people that do, and there's a whole bunch of people that don't. And the whole bunch of people that don't are making it look bad for the whole bunch of people that do. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean? It's like having 5 doctors over here that all their patients live when they do a surgery, and 6 doctors over here where all their patients die. That's going to give doctors a bad name. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion. But yeah, I do agree with you, NDS 23. Like, If you're a hustler and you work hard, you should be paid for that. And companies, you chose to find that money not going through the company, that company probably lost a really valuable employee because they weren't willing to up the ante a little bit. They started making more money and didn't want to, pass it on down the line, So I agree with you. Sterling, you can only work so many years of a company and you're the best employee there. Yep. I agree 100% with that. The only time, yeah. I hate that feeling where you just look around and you're like, man, if they're working 8 hours, you're working 9. If they're working 9, you're working 10. I fall in that trap all the time. And you know what? I still did as an owner-operator, to be honest with you. I used to want to, I work for a small carrier, right? We all know that already. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be number one for that carrier. I don't think like that anymore. I'm as good as I am. You know what I mean? I only care. I respect the carrier I'm leased onto. Don't get it twisted. I respect that name on the side of my truck as much as if it was my name. But I'm doing this for me. Does that make sense? And I'm not putting the guy down that I'm leased onto, but I'm doing it for me. You know what I mean? And that's so damn rewarding. Kelly back. According to the FMCSA, truckers on average make 3,000 life or death decisions per minute. Damn, it's that much? You're making my point. Yeah, that's unskilled labor though, Kelly. Don't get it twisted. I have a big problem when people say that, because then they try and justify certain things. We all know that. Anybody that's driven a truck knows it requires some skill. Not everybody, as stupid as it sounds, not everybody can back a truck up 5 feet. And keep it straight. Let alone trying to alley dock or blindside. That takes skill. I can't think of many things that are like unskilled labor. Think about landscapers, like how they cut grass perfectly. That takes skill, because I can't cut my grass as well as the person that my neighbor gets their lawn cut. I can't cut my grass as well as that landscaping company can. NDS 23. We both pay for everything equally, from fuel to truck expenses. You manage money a lot different than getting paid hourly. Absolutely. Because you're receiving more money. I'm sure you are. That was probably, that was in the top 2 or 3 things when I started this venture 13 months ago. I've always been pretty good with money. I'm not in huge financial debt. I had some things I wasn't taking care of because I just couldn't afford it. But all of a sudden started dealing with allegedly way more money than I've ever dealt with in my life. I had to learn how to be disciplined and allocate that money, because it's not all going into my pocket and then, going to the wherever, casino or whatever. I had to learn how to allocate that money, and that was, I wouldn't say tough for me. It was scary. I'll call a spade a spade. It was scary dealing with that kind of money, seeing your bank account, which you're used to just kind of seeing plateau, go down, back up, plateau, to where it just freaking doesn't stop going up. That was scary. But I did the right things with it. Owned my asset, paid my truck off in 8 months, did other things that, people that were in my position might not have done. I chose to do different things with my money, No Name, hello. How you doing, No Name? Welcome. Kelly Patterson, howdy, No Name. No Name. Getting ready to head out, but it'll be listening. Oh, cool. Well, thanks, man. Drive safe. Sterling, I'm overly curious with this new trucking industry we've got. Too many people betting on luck. Well, you know, I come from the position of I don't think anybody should ever not try and live out their dream, right? Whether that's you're a company guy getting your CDL, guy or girl, or you want to become an owner operator. I would never tell you not to do it. However, I know I probably wouldn't have made this leap based on the current market for trucks. Now, I know like an hour ago, I was talking about I just found a very good value on a truck. You know how long I've been looking for a truck? I'll be honest with you, 11 and a half months. Because 6 months into this, I knew I could do it. And every truck I see is way overvalued. And I'm a big believer in what is the value versus the cost. What is this product or thing going to give me? AKA the value. And then what's the cost? If the cost is lower than the value, I purchase it. If the cost is greater than the value, I don't purchase it. And I do that in my personal life. Hence why I stayed at a Days Inn that people were getting stabbed and overdosing at, because I'm a cheap human being. You know, I'll never do that again. Never do that again. If you haven't seen that video, go back. I think it's like maybe 1 or 2 videos down. I stayed in a really sketchy place a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, Sterling, I kind of missed the point that, yeah, I mean, you are betting on, well, you're betting on the pendulum, which is really high right now. And you're hoping that if you're investing a lot of your money, hard-earned money, and hard sacrifices, that you're hoping that stays. Because if that comes down, it's just like when the housing market crashed in 2008. I owned a townhouse back then. I bought it at the height of the market. When the market crashed, I mean, my townhouse, I was so backwards on it, it was ridiculous. You know, that can happen to the equipment you own too. Keep that in mind. You know. Kelly, that money you make has other people's names on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not gonna lie, it's still, how can I say this? I haven't paid myself much more. Honestly, I haven't paid myself more than I was when I was a company guy. The thing is, the money's there, like if I needed it for something, you know what I mean? I live kind of a, you know, modest life. Now I can give myself a bonus. My account, you know what I mean? Like I know how to give myself a bonus if I wanted to go on vacation or something like that. But yeah, you're right. That money's allocated, man. And if I blow it, I'm screwed. You know, then I'm setting up a payment plan with the IRS to finish my taxes. And, you know, I didn't get into this to owe people money. You know what I mean? I got into this to put myself in a position of power where I can tell you what to do for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not being egotistical there. I'm being serious. Like, that's where I want to be in life. I don't want people telling me what to do. I want to, and when I say I want to tell people what to do, I'm not saying it in like an asshole way. I'm saying it in like, oh, you want $45,000 for that truck? Here's $40,000 cash. Do you want to make a deal? Like, that's what I want. You know what I mean? NDS 23, my pops never wanted me to work for him until I was mature and responsible and earned my stripes and got where I am on my own. So my father was the exact same way. So props to your dad. When I said that I went to college and then my dad got me a job, my dad thought I was going to hate the job and go back to school. The fact was my dad became my boss. And he always said, this is not what you're going to do. This is not the career you're going to have, blah, blah, blah. Like he was adamantly against it. Not because he thought I was better than that or that trucking was bad. He knew what it required. So yeah, I had to earn my, I got picked on. I worked with guys who are my age now when I was 20, and I had some piercings, so they called me the Tin Man. They ripped me apart, man. But you know what? I learned so much from those guys. I learned how, if start time is 6 o'clock, that doesn't mean you walk in the door and punch in at 6. That means you're there at 5:30 in the morning, ready to go at 6. I learned so many valuable skills from these guys that I apply in my life today that I believe has led me to, where I am today. So I 100% agree with that. Earn your stripes, and then, I know today my father is very proud of what I'm doing. And that's because I talked to him. And he had his doubts when I started this. And I just talked to him tonight, and he's like, I'd bet on you. How much do you need? What do you want? I'll bet on you. And that's good to still know at the age I am. I'm 41, so that means my dad's like, what? I think he's like 66, 67. I know I'm making him proud, and that means something to me. My dad gave me a really solid name, and I've tried to keep it that way, The insult investor. I got an old truck that runs, but I can't get a CDL. Yeah, you have a cab over, right? Insult, you have a cab over. I remember you telling me that. Kelly, I'm assuming you're supposed to say I was at a motel once that you could see hoof prints on the carpet. Yes, it was near Mexico. The Tijuana, right? I've heard about the shows in Tijuana. Sterling, I see too many small companies putting 2 idiots in a new Volvo and hoping they figure out how to dock. Yeah. I don't want to get into that, but I see that too. I just wish companies would train people a little bit better. I have no problem with young people or whatever sex, race, whatever you are. I have no problem with you trying to better your life. And if bettering your life is becoming a truck driver, I have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is just like what you said. They throw these people in these trucks, and they're lost. That's scary. That puts everybody around them at jeopardy. I wish the training was a little bit better all across the board. I gotta go edit video, kids. NDS, I wish you the best of luck. Stay safe out there, Kelly Scott. Talk to your wife before buying a new truck. I will. You have a good night, Sterling. The insult investor, yep. Yeah, on the cab over. NDS 23, Sterling, thank you, sir. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting kind of worn out. Been an hour and 43 minutes. How many of us, man? You got to respect these guys that can go on for 10, 11, 12 hours. I cannot believe that crap. I listened to somebody last night all day long. It was past my 11-hour drive, and these people were still talking. I don't know how they do it, how they drum up all the information and all the content they can get, because there's no way I can do that. Oh, has anybody got a couple questions or anything? If you're new to truck driving, learn from your trainer. If you don't know something, ask. There's no dumb questions in trucking. You might get some crap from your local co-workers or somebody like me, or I'll be honest, I ask dumb questions almost every day. I know they're dumb, but the thing is, you'll never know if you don't ask. So if you're new to trucking, soak everything up, ask questions, always try and kind of look ahead. Be 1 or 2 steps ahead of what you're currently doing. That doesn't mean don't focus on what you're doing, but focus on what you're doing and then look ahead to, okay, my next step is this. And my step after that is this. You know, don't just stay focused and looking straight ahead. Always look, you know what's going on around you, and plan on, if this car in front of me slams on their brakes, what's my responsibility? Give yourself an out. Aim high in steering. We all know these terms. Use them. You know what I mean? Use them. If you're new to trucking, use them. I know it seems dumb when you're watching the safety videos and crap like that, but there's a reason to be watching those, and there's a reason to retain what those videos and things are saying. A good trainer is either sitting side seat giving advice or driving explaining what he's doing and why, not in the sleeper burst sleeping. Kelly, couldn't agree more with you, sir. 100%. I just read an exemption a couple of weeks ago that they're allowing trainees with the trainer to be in the bunk sleeping. How is that trainee learning anything? Now, maybe it's after this trainee's been, you know, I don't know how long, like if you work for a big company, how long they make you ride with a trainer. I didn't go that route. You know what I mean? I don't know how long the training process is with these big companies. But if there isn't a trainer right there and I'm the trainee driving the seat or driving and there's no trainer next to me, you're not training that person. 100%, that company is not training that person. And if you're experiencing that, you might not be learning everything you need to know. And I'm not saying you're doing something wrong, because it's not your fault. It's the company and trainer's fault. It's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. They are. So Kelly, I agree 100% with you. NDS 23, keep your head on a swivel. Absolutely. You know, I mean, you use all these acronyms and you have goal, right? How many of us see goal? I don't have them on my truck or this truck, but get out and look. That's like a real thing. Get out and just walk behind your trailer when you open your doors. Take a look around. Make sure you're not going to rip your door off or back into somebody, or, you know, sometimes they leave the wheel chocks there and you're going to run them over. You know, get out and look. Look around. Make sure the spot you're pulling into or backing into, give yourself an out from that area. You know, we all know these terms and they get redundant and kind of like, oh, I gotta listen to this crap again. But you know what? It might save you. It really might. Getting the big picture. You're looking ahead. I mean, I know it's, you know, this isn't training 101 and we all know these things, but how many of us see them not put to practice? And how many of us at times are like, oh, I know what to do here. Why didn't I do that? You know, the biggest one is sniper. Remember in like your training videos where they would talk about snipers? Those are the cars that are going to pull out in front of you. You always got to expect they're going to pull out in front of you. They don't want to be stuck behind you. So what are you going to do? You know, get familiar with those terms and practice those terms. Kelly, and be patient with traffic. Don't push your tailgate. Once again, Kelly, couldn't agree more with you. I can't sleep with someone in the truck snoring. Ain't happening. Yeah. So I shared earlier I had to team with DIY Semi after he came and rescued me because I'm not a real trucker. I don't know if you saw my short on that. I'll tell you what, I've never teamed before. I did one other time. It was just for like a week. New guy, new contractor had to ride with me and learn some things. But I got a lot of respect for people that team, man. That is not easy. I cannot sleep with the truck driving down the road. I mean, I was able to like nod off, but you wake up or, yeah, driving, team drivers, a lot of props to you because I can't do it. That is not a world I can live in. So, Kelly, even in Chicago traffic, I have no problem remaining an 8-second following distance most times. Yeah, I'll say in Chicago, I'm not 8 seconds. Depends on traffic. Usually when I'm going through Chicago, I'm always in traffic. So it's not 8 seconds. It's probably like 4, you know. I always keep 3 because that's how I was taught. Keep 3 seconds unless road conditions ask you to slow down and keep 4 or 5 or 6 seconds behind. And those are real practices, and it's so simple to do. Passes a sign, you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. If roads are bad, back off a little bit. So Kelly, yeah, I agree with you. Instead of 18-wheeler chef, maybe be 18-wheeler safety guy, you know, because everything you're saying is correct. Stuart, hey, speak of the devil, that was one guy that was talking all night last night. How you doing, Stuart? Nice to meet you. I'm Fate Truckin Scott. Welcome to the channel. So yeah, like I said, my throat's getting sore. It's been an hour and 50 minutes. I don't have the stamina like some other people do on this YouTube to keep things going. Unless somebody's got a question or another good like tip, that's, like I said, I know everybody that I'm probably most of the people that are subscribed to me are because of the people that I associate with. So you all have great experience and knowledge in trucking. My goal is to reach the person who doesn't, because when I was thinking about becoming an owner operator, like I said, I had all the experience. I just didn't have big enough cojones to like take the leap. But what I did is I watched YouTube, I read forums, I did research, and I want to give back to that person that's thinking about becoming a truck driver. And like I said, being an owner operator isn't for everybody. You can make a good living being a company guy or girl. I'm not being sexist. If you want to get into trucking, there are so many good ways to get into it, and there are so many different avenues that you can use that CDL in. I mean, Nomadic Brit was in here earlier. He does tanker work. There is so much that you can do with that CDL license. The thing is, don't ever let anybody tell you that, oh, now you have your CDL license, you're good. If you stop learning and become complacent and think you know everything, that's when a problem's going to occur. That's when something bad's going to happen. You know, Kelly was talking earlier, don't tailgate. You know, I was sharing, when you see the road signs flashing or weather is bad, slow the F down. Because you know what? You're not only putting yourself in danger, you're putting me in danger, you're putting my wife and my kids in danger. Just slow down. Nothing is worth the problem that can arise. Nothing is. No shipper's going to be mad at you because you were in a blizzard and you didn't get there on time. You know, somebody might say something to you, but your safety and other people's safety is far more important than any goddamn load. Sorry for cursing, but it just is. And what I witnessed on Highway 30 the other day, seeing that Kenworth wrapped around in the median, I mean, I feel bad that he either destroyed his truck or his company's truck, but you know what? The guy was an idiot. And I'll call a spade a spade. He was an idiot because he was driving like an absolute idiot in conditions that required him to slow down and maybe stay behind me. Because you know what? I made it to Pennsylvania and I made it on time without a wrecked truck. You know? Anyways. Have you been teaming for 3 years? I have a hard time sleeping at home where it's quiet and still. Damn, that sucks. Teaming though, man, that's gotta be hard. I know you can make a lot of money, but it's gotta be hard. Kelly, you're doing good. It takes time to build. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever do that. Have that type of stamina. I had a problem at home, put truck in bedroom window and ran it all night. Yeah. I started turning a fan on in my bedroom when I go home. My wife gets kind of pissed off at it, but I turn a fan on because I'm so used to my reefer running at night. that it's that, what do you call that, ambient noise? That noise is like kind of soothing. Sounds ridiculous. Do you say the guy? The guy? Is that how you say that? Like, the guy? I'm the guy? Yeah, right. Don't know if neighbors would appreciate that. Yeah. I'll make it. First time meeting you, the guy. I hope I'm saying that right. Kelly, well, NDS23, if you have questions, send an email. I'll help you if I can. Yeah. Yeah. Use trucking white noise, LOL. Oh, sorry. You know what, NDS23, I missed your comment here. I'm new to trucking 1 year, but I shut up and learn from everyone else that knows more. Learn from the vets and wise. Don't think you know it all. That's when shit hits the fan, LOL. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I know Kelly just offered, feel free to drop me an email too if you have any questions. That's trailertruckinf8@gmail.com. Once again, trailertruckinf8@gmail.com. Yeah, that's that. YouTube's great to ask questions of people, and there's so many people with so much vast knowledge and so many different opinions that you just find what works for you, to be honest with you. And anybody that's successful in this industry will talk about safety matters. And if they don't, I'm sure if you sat down and really talked to them, they would tell you how much safety matters. Stuart, yep, I do the same thing with the fan. Also a reefer guy. Yeah, it's you get used to that sound, you get used to the noise, and you get used to not sleeping because you got to be at these freaking cold storage warehouses and grocery warehouses at 2 a.m. So Stuart, where are you from? Are you, I heard you talking, are you British? And if you're not, I don't mean any disrespect. I'm curious. The guy, yeah, close enough with the name. All right, good, I hope. NDS23, thanks, guys. Yeah, like I said, I want to help people. I don't want to be no guru or super trucker or anything like that. I just want to help people. I want people to be aware of, like I said before, we're in an industry right now that's just on fire, whether you're an owner operator or a company guy. But don't get that twisted. You might be bringing home all kinds of money, but if you're testing your limits every day you're behind the wheel, eventually that money don't mean anything because you're not going to make it. I think things are getting so much tighter right now that if you have too many incidences, nobody's going to touch you. I mean, and the reason I say that is you think about equipment prices, right? Well, that equipment needs to be insured. So insurance companies are starting to insure huge dollar amounts on the equipment that we operate. Well, if these insurance companies start getting too many claims, they're going to make the requirements for you to drive that equipment even tougher than they are now. So put yourself in a position to be successful and safe. I sound like I'm preaching now, but that's the truth, because you can make a very good living as a truck driver your entire career. I'm a third generation trucker. My grandfather was a truck driver. My dad started his career as a truck driver before he became upper management. And I'm a truck driver. All three of us have raised a family at one time or another on a trucker's salary. I've raised a family of 5 solely on a trucker's salary, and that was as a company guy up until 13 months ago when I became an owner-operator. So you can have a good life. Keep it. And the way you keep that is by being responsible. And sometimes that means you don't get to have as much fun as your friends do when you go out with them. Honestly, that's what it means. So, England, oh, okay. Just north of London. Man, that's all. I've never been over there. I've been over to Italy, Germany, and Austria. when I was younger, I played hockey, and I was fortunate enough. Oh, I went to Sweden too. I was fortunate enough to go overseas and represent the United States in hockey when I was younger, and a lot of fun. But I've never been to London. Kelly, those skill limits will naturally increase with time and practice. Absolutely. I think you have to love the industry first. Yes and no, because I look back, I didn't know the industry when I started this. It's grown on me over time. And what I mean by that is it's kind of, it's in my blood, meaning I already have like kind of like a gypsy soul, right? It's hard for me to stay in one place for a very long time. Now I'm fortunate because I have a wife and kids. I had to buy a house. I had to stay in that area. That is not what I want to do. My wife and I go back and forth on this all the time. Like, how long are we going to stay in this house? She's done so much remodeling to the house that it's, her little project. And all I think about is when I can sell it and move on. But having love for the industry, I think, can grow over time. Meaning you start to enjoy the fact of being on the road. It's certainly a lifestyle, and it's not a lifestyle for everybody. I mean, I would lie if I said I take showers every day, because I don't. Because sometimes the timing of a delivery and then a pickup, and when I stop to either do a sleeper berth or something, like, I just don't have time. So, there's things that you just kind of become accustomed to. I never thought I would go a day without taking a shower. Now, you might think I'm some gross slime ball or something for saying that, but like right now today, I chose to go live because I'm going to wake up at, I think, like 3 a.m, and I'm going to go take a shower, because that'll wake me up and then I can do my day. You know what I mean? But it's certainly a lifestyle that you grow into. And I have a great fondness of the trucking industry. I love the trucks. I like the people. I mean, what I mean by that is, like, some of the interactions you might have with other truckers can be good or they can be bad. I happen to, like, stay a little isolated in my own little shell, but the conversations I do have with other truckers, I enjoy them. Because usually I'm talking to somebody that has a truck I'm interested in, so I'm asking about fuel mileage or what it has that my truck doesn't have, or I realize, man, this is somebody that has a lot of wisdom. I can learn something. And sometimes when you're sitting at a table for dinner and you hear all the stories, you just shake your head and kind of laugh. Kelly Patterson, for God's sake, stay away from drugs, including THC. Does not matter that it's legal in some states. As an interstate driver, you have tests clean everywhere. Absolutely. That's like a problem in the trucking industry right now. I forget to shut off notifications. Stay away from drugs. I couldn't agree with that more. And understand that if you're on your break or 34, you can have a couple. If you drink, like, I don't drink, but if you drink, you can have cocktails or something. But you know what? Even if you're off the clock, it is illegal for you to do it in your truck. I just witnessed a guy do it right now next to me. Shouldn't do that. Should not do that. Everything needs balance, and not enough balance, you can start to hate the industry. Absolutely. I would agree with that. And that's, Stuart, you bring up a funny point, because I was talking about that a little bit earlier. That's one thing I'm really going to work on this year is finding that healthy balance. And that can be like maybe a little bit more home time, or literally just go out east and come right back to the Midwest, because if I do that, I can get home for a night or two. And who doesn't like to be at home? I know I do like to be at home. I like to be with my wife and my kids and my dog, You know, I honestly miss my dog. She likes the truck. I've had her in it a couple of times, but she also gets homesick. Like, really kind of lethargic and depressed when she's in the truck. So she stays at home with the kids and wife. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up tonight. If you haven't already, will you hit the thumbs up for me? If you're new to the channel and you like this, maybe watch some other videos, subscribe to the channel. If not, I went out and back. We're always doing something different on here. I'm going to start trying to have guests on here. Follow some of these big channels. Nomadic Brit, Cash is King stopped by tonight. DIY Semi, Vic Med, Sterling's got a channel. Stuart, do you have a channel? Miss Nevada, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just ending this. How are you guys doing? You're still at home, right? No, I admit I do have vodka, Dr. Pepper during off time in the truck, but I close my curtains, sip on the and mind my manners. Sorry, now I'm getting text messages. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you everybody that stopped in here. I want to do this more, and I'll keep you updated on the situation with my truck. And if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to email me. That is trailertruckinf8. Truckin is without a G, f8@gmail.com. Till next time, stay safe, and you know what it is. Keep on trucking.